In a world that often feels chaotic, sometimes the most profound stories of courage and loyalty are found in the quietest corners of the earth. Today we're journeying deep into a tropical paradise, to a small hut nestled between a majestic mountain and a crystal-clear river. This is the home of John and Mary, a couple in their 60s who have built a life of serene simplicity, living in harmony with the land around them. John, a man weathered by time and living with blindness, navigates his world with a quiet strength, his senses attuned to the whispers of the forest and the flow of the river. Mary is his eyes and his steadfast partner, her hands tending to their small but vibrant farm. Together, they cultivate rows of vegetables that thrive under the tropical sun. Their days are filled with the gentle clucking of chickens and the playful bleating of goats, a small herd that provides them with milk and companionship. Their protein comes from the river, where they skillfully catch fish, a practice passed down through generations. It's a peaceful existence, a testament to resilience and a deep connection with nature. But their life isn't without its dangers. The tropical forest that provides for them is also home to wild animals. To guard their home and their precious livestock, John and Mary rely on two loyal protectors, a noble German shepherd and a formidable black and white Pitbull. These aren't just pets. They are family, an integral part of their daily survival. The German shepherd, with his keen senses and watchful eyes, is the ever-vigilant sentinel. The Pitbull, strong and fearless, is the dedicated guardian of the goats, gently herding them and standing firm against any threat that might emerge from the dense tree line. The bond between the humans and their canine companions is unspoken but incredibly deep, forged in the shared rhythm of their secluded life. The days pass in a predictable, comforting cycle. Sun rises, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, and the dogs are the first to stir, nudging John and Mary awake. They follow Mary to the vegetable patch, their tails wagging as she works. They stand guard as John sits by the river, listening to the world. At night, they curl up by the door of the small hut, two shadows offering unwavering protection. This was their world, simple, beautiful, and seemingly unshakable. But nature, as we know, is as powerful as it is beautiful, and one silent night, the very mountain that shadowed their home was about to unleash a terrifying force. The night began like any other. The moon cast a silvery glow over the landscape. The sounds of the forest were a familiar lullaby, and the river whispered its secrets. John and Mary were asleep in their hut, secure in the knowledge that their faithful dogs were on watch. But then, a low, deep rumble began to vibrate through the earth, a sound that didn't belong to the night's usual symphony. It started subtly, a tremor that might be mistaken for a distant storm, but it grew in intensity, shaking the very foundations of their small home. The dogs were the first to sense the imminent danger. The German shepherd shot to his feet, a low growl rumbling in his chest, his ears pinned back. The pit bull, usually calm and steady, began to whine and pace restlessly, his eyes wide with alarm. Their agitation was impossible to ignore. They rushed into the hut, barking insistently, nudging and pawing at John and Mary, trying desperately to wake them from their slumber. Mary sat up, confused and disoriented. "What is it? What's wrong with them?" she murmured, her voice laced with sleep. John, whose hearing was exceptionally sharp, felt the vibration intensifying. "Mary," he said, his voice urgent, "something is terribly wrong. The mountain. It feels angry." Suddenly, a deafening roar tore through the silence, and the sky outside their window exploded in a terrifying spectacle of red and orange. The volcano, the ancient giant that had stood dormant for generations, had erupted. Fiery molten rock began to cascade down its slopes, a river of destruction heading directly for their peaceful valley. Panic seized Mary as she looked out the window. "John, it's the volcano. It's fire. It's everywhere," she cried, her voice trembling with fear. The smell of sulfur and burning vegetation filled the air, thick and suffocating. The heat was becoming unbearable, and streams of lava were already beginning to snake their way through the trees, devouring everything in their path. In that moment of pure terror, when human instinct might freeze, the dogs took charge. Their training, their loyalty, and their instinct to protect their family took over completely. The German Shepherd, understanding John's blindness, positioned himself firmly by his side, nudging him insistently toward the door, away from the encroaching heat. The dog's body was a living guide, a warm, steady presence in the swirling chaos. He refused to let John falter, his barks sharp and directional, cutting through the roar of the eruption. He was John's eyes, his compass in a world that had suddenly turned into a fiery inferno. Meanwhile, the Pitbull focused on Mary. Seeing her frozen in fear, he began to bark and pull at her clothing, urging her to move. He then darted outside, barking furiously toward the river, the only potential escape route. He would run a few feet, then turn back, making sure Mary was following his lead. His actions were clear and deliberate. Follow me. The path was treacherous, with burning embers raining down from the sky and the ground shaking violently. It was a race against a tide of fire. Together, the two dogs worked in perfect, unspoken coordination. The German Shepherd guided John step by step, his body a shield against falling debris, his barks a constant beacon. The Pitbull cleared a path for Mary, his powerful frame pushing through burning underbrush, his eyes scanning constantly for the safest way forward. They led the elderly couple away from their burning hut, away from the life they had known, and toward the relative safety of the riverbank. The goats and chickens, their pens now engulfed in flames, were a heartbreaking loss, but there was no time for grief, only survival. Reaching the river's edge, the situation was still dire. The water was rising, superheated by the lava flow, and the air was thick with ash. But it was a barrier against the advancing fire. The dogs didn't stop. They nudged John and Mary along the riverbank, pushing them further downstream, away from the main path of the lava. Every step was a struggle. The ground was hot, and the air was difficult to breathe. John stumbled, the unfamiliar, chaotic terrain, a nightmare for him to navigate. But each time he faltered, the German Shepherd was there, steadying him, urging him onward. Mary, exhausted and heartbroken, found strength in the Pitbull's unwavering determination. They traveled for what felt like an eternity, guided only by the instinct of their heroic dogs. The roar of the volcano was a constant, terrifying backdrop to their desperate flight. Finally, as the first light of dawn began to break through the smoke-filled sky, they reached a small, protected cove, sheltered by a rocky outcrop. They were exhausted, covered in soot, and grieving the loss of their home, but they were alive. They collapsed onto the cool, damp sand. The two dogs, immediately positioning themselves around the couple, still on guard, their bodies trembling from exertion but their mission complete. John reached out a trembling hand, finding the thick fur of the German Shepherd. "You saved us," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved us all." Mary wrapped her arms around the Pitbull, burying her face in his neck, her tears finally falling freely. Tears of loss, but also of profound gratitude. In the face of nature's fury, their two dogs had become more than protectors. They had become saviors. Their intelligence, their bravery, and their unshakable loyalty had guided them through the fire. Their home was gone, their farm reduced to ash. But as they huddled together on that riverbank, two humans and two dogs, they had each other. This incredible story is a powerful reminder that the bonds we form with animals can transcend companionship. They can be a lifeline in our darkest hours. The courage of this German Shepherd and this Pitbull wasn't just instinct, it was love. A love so strong, it could stare down a volcanic eruption and lead their family to safety. Thank you so much for joining me to hear this incredible tale of survival and heroism. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories. And share in the comments, what's the most heroic thing your pet has ever done?